But before we jump into that, we've got some breaking news coming into the newsroom this morning. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has just confirmed that her current term as a California Congresswoman will be her last in public office. The longtime Democrat and the first female House Speaker announced her decision in a video released just about an hour ago. Let's play a little bit of what she had to say.
I want you, my fellow San Franciscans, to be the first to know I will not be seeking re-election to Congress. With a grateful heart, I look forward to my final year of service as your proud representative. As we go forward, my message to the city I love is this: San Francisco, know your power. We have made history, we have made progress, we have always led the way. And now we must continue to do so by remaining full participants in our democracy.
All right, for more on this breaking news, let's bring in CBS News congressional correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns. Caitlin, Nancy Pelosi, as you know, wraps up a decades-long career in public service. What are we learning about what her potential future plans might be?
Yeah, Vlad, this is truly the end of an era up here on Capitol Hill and really for the country. Nancy Pelosi was elected to Congress in 1987. Just for some context, that was the year I was born. So she has been a member of Congress for my whole entire life. The writing was certainly on the wall. She had hinted at some kind of announcement coming this week because she was waiting to see what the election results were in California, in her home state. She was very influential in that Prop 50 ballot measure, that redistricting ballot measure, waiting for that to go through, and this announcement comes today. But, you know, 2 years ago, she took a step back from leadership, and she was kind of recognizing what she was seeing in the party, which was a call for new leadership. And you remember, she was very influential in the decision to try to get Joe Biden to step aside. She has seen other leaders, her colleague Dianne Feinstein, also of California, stay in office. Critics said way too long. And so the writing was certainly on the wall here. But Vlad, it also comes, as we're seeing after this election, a new wave of leadership in the party. New governors elected in Virginia and New Jersey, younger women, and also, of course, in New York City with Mondami. And there are questions about what the Democratic Party is going to be, where they are trying to go, and who they really are. Who are the faces of the Democratic Party? And we can talk a lot about Pelosi's career. She certainly, up until now, has been the leader of the Democratic Party in so many ways, championed so many key initiatives, the first and only woman to hold the Speaker's gavel.
So the question, of course, going forward, Caitlin, to me is, what does this mean for the Democrats in Congress? As you know as well as I do, Nancy Pelosi, if there was one thing that she excelled at, two things. One was getting her district the things that they needed, but also probably in Washington, what she was known for is being able to whip those votes. I mean, no one was better at getting things done than Nancy Pelosi, keeping her caucus united. And that is something that we've seen both on the Democratic side and on the Republican side, a difficulty in doing at the level that Nancy Pelosi was able to do.
That's exactly right, Vlad. I mean, I've talked to Republicans who say that no matter what you think of her, she was able to rule not only with an iron fist, but also an iron grip on her caucus. It is a very, very difficult job, as we've seen over the past years, to get your caucus, your conference together to vote on something. And she was able to provide the votes nearly every single time. And that is something that leaders of both parties acknowledge is such a key role. It is the job of that leadership. And we've seen since she has stepped back that is a little bit harder to do here. But, you know, there are questions right now about where the Democratic Party goes. And Pelosi was so influential. She was also, because of her influence, the foil for Republicans for so long. I mean, she was so key in passing the Affordable Care Act. And then a couple years later, she was the face of it. And her party suffered in those midterms. midterms, and she was really kind of the perfect foil for Republicans. So in a lot of ways, their Democrats are trying to figure out how to move forward, and she has kind of acknowledged that there needs to be room for more leadership. So what I'm watching for is if this sends any cues to others in the party that maybe it is time to step aside. We'll wait to see on that. But Vlad, I think also, a lot of people know Nancy Pelosi as a public figure, but what is so striking to me is that she is a mother of 5 and came into Congress after raising her kids. And I think that is a really important note here that people may not understand about her. And you may remember a couple of years ago, her husband was brutally attacked in an act of political violence. And that now has become the theme among lawmakers. I mean, just yesterday, Vlad, Jared Golden, who is a Democrat, a young Democrat in Maine, announced he's not going to seek re-election. He represents a Trump district, but he said that the political atmosphere has become too fraught. The death threats, the political violence are taking a toll on his young family. And so that is also kind of in the backdrop of all of this as Nancy Pelosi retires. And when she does leave, she will have served in Congress for 40 years, Vlad.
Yeah, a remarkable career. And her first year in Congress, Caitlin, 1987. You were born that year. I was in high school, so I remember it well. It's only because I'm old. Caitlin, Huey-Burns for us on the Hill.
You don't look a day over 21, Vlad. You know it.
I love you. Come back anytime on this broadcast. Thanks, Caitlin. I'll see you later. Let's bring in Finny Gomez. Finn is our CBS News political director, and as such has a lot of insight as to what this could potentially mean for the Democrats going forward, Finn. So you heard CHB there with her analysis of what this potentially signals to her caucus, to Democrats writ large across the country. And I wonder what your summation of what this could potentially mean down the line. I mean, as I indicated earlier, the one thing that I always thought Nancy Pelosi was really, really good at doing is just getting legislation passed and getting her party behind that legislation. For example, as Caitlin mentioned, the Affordable Care Act. We haven't really seen whether you're talking about guys like Kevin McCarthy or Hakeem Jeffries able to do the same level of politicking the way that she has.
And that's exactly right, Vlad. I mean, if you go down in the annals of congressional history, she will be known as one of the most iconic speakers of the House. And if you do go back, you mentioned the Affordable Care Act back in 2010 that she passed, but she's also led the charge on the first two, those two impeachments against President Trump, during his first term. She's been compared to another iconic Democratic speaker, Tip O'Neill, back in the 80s, someone who is truly well known and well known in particular for being able to harness and bring together her caucus as a field general, if you will, on the Hill. And you haven't seen that. You really haven't seen someone who can lead with that sort of that big gavel to really help pass legislation, get nominations through, and really hold the line against her political opponents. And I do think we do know that she was already being challenged, ahead if she did run for re-election. However, I think there's been a big talk right now in the Democratic Party, in speaking to Democratic sources, about a generational change. And I think that you saw that with President Biden last year during the 2024 cycle, and I think it may be an element here as well. And I think that you're seeing that on the political campaign trail, where there are younger and a different generation sort of coming now into place, Generation X, if you will, and others, Generation Z. You saw Mamdani, of course, earlier this week, and so I think it also plays a role there as well, Vlad.
Remarkable career, a remarkable legacy that she leaves behind in Congress, and it will be very interesting to see what she does next. I know that she is well due her retirement, just not taking it easy, taking a load off. But if I know Nancy Pelosi the way that we've come to know her over the last couple of years, somehow I don't think that that's going to be in her cards. We'll see. We'll see.
I agree. I absolutely agree. She still holds a lot of political influence, Vlad, as you know.
Exactly. That's the thing I'm thinking about too, Finn. Finn Gomez, my friend, thank you very much. We appreciate you. Thanks for jumping in front of the camera for this breaking news. We appreciate it.